Good morning or afternoon to all of our merry Marvelites. Welcome to Marvel Movie Talk on a special day and time. Moving along right now, we're joined by the one, the only, Xia Anderson, Bastille Day, OnlyFans.com. Anderson, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? I always love hearing all my names because no one else does that, so I
No,
don't get to hear it very
no,
often. No one
no
else
one no
understands
one respects the Bastille Day in particular
the
because
Bastille
you
Day.
just go right up front with the Anderson. And by the way, in the chat, Rock 620, about time. We know who to blame.
Rock,
We started
trust
a few
me,
minutes late.
it's worth it, Rock. It's worth it. I had to go get I was not going to leave a $7,000 PC in the mailroom. Absolutely not. As soon as it came in, we are like, we got to go. So we picked up the PC. That's the exciting news. And I am going to do a video.
And
So
I understand you also moved some furniture up the stairs. We were talking about
yes.
that before we started.
Yes, I got a couch for the studio. Nick and I are going to start to do probably another show soon, hopefully. So yeah, we got a couch for the studio set up here. We're going to make it all nice. So you're not going to see like fucking shitty random crap in the background soon.
Yeah, because there's enough shitty random crap close to the camera when you're on it, so you obviously don't want that.
Yeah, I don't want to add to the shitty random crap that's on camera.
It's like, look, this visual is shitty enough.
Sorry, you guys have to look at my face.
And I'm clearly one to talk because I'm literally in front of a bunch of trash.
Yeah, I see. Well, some of it looks cool. I see something with R2D2 on it. I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
what
a bulletin
is.
board. That's a bulletin board from my childhood bedroom when I was a kid.
And, all right, you got to pass on that. But everything.
These are, and there's some boxes of comics and a bunch of other stuff. And Dominicus Saxon says random crap overload. Well,
Mr. Saxon.
Speaking of overload, I think that our audience for Marvel Movie Talk has been very kind to stick with us while the time has changed to accommodate various different schedules. And today is no exception. We're here a little early because we wanted to chat with our friend Xia about a couple of things, but we want to start with Black Widow. And I think that, look, people who have seen you on some of the other shows you've been on, I know you made this comparison on It's Eric Nagel, which I believe is Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I hear a rumor that I'm going to be on this week.
I heard that rumor too, and I got really disappointed. But
yeah, I know. You're like, great, now I don't have to be on. But you did talk about it there. But I think that people who know you from the old show and the many shows we did together, they want to know, one, what did you think of Black Widow? And the 1A is, was it better than Captain Marvel?
Okay, so I'm going to answer 1A first. It was definitely better than Captain Marvel. I did enjoy it more than Captain Marvel, although I do really want to watch Captain Marvel again. I feel like I just need to. Anyway, so I did like it better than Captain Marvel. As far as overall how I felt about the movie, it was okay. It was okay. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. It was very much like mid-tier of the MCU for me. Like it was not up there. I didn't hate it. I didn't leave going, oh, that was so trash. But definitely the more I thought about it, the more little things I could find to critique. I think everybody likes I always forget her name, the actress who plays Yelena Belova.
Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh, yes. I think everybody likes her, and for good reason. She was great. Her comedic timing and sort of comedic acting was good. I enjoyed it. It was funny. I laughed the most at her lines. I really liked her talking about her vest. So that was great. And it was great to see.
Didn't you kind of want one of those vests, by the way?
I do want one of those vests. And I bet you any much they will be for sale soon.
Oh, you think Disney might look to make some money with tying something into a movie?
Yeah.
Okay. You're really going out on a limb there, but I'm inclined to agree with you, so it's all right.
I will get it. I know, and someone already mentioned, because I am going to do a Black Widow cosplay. I'm getting close to being done with it. I have the wig and everything. I'm very excited.
Nice.
Yeah. Got the wig, got the suit. I just need all of the accessories to go with it to make it actually look like Black Widow and not just, you know, a whore in a suit. So anyway, I'm gonna
which you've done that cosplay for. Well, I was
my
going to
whole
say
life,
I
really.
was going to say your age, but let's not put that out
No,
there.
let's not put that out there. No,
yeah.
please. Thank you,
Let's
Christian.
let's say 25 years plus 10. No, you're not that old. You're not
What?
35. No,
When did I turn 35? Oh God.
it's coming.
Yes, it is. Oh, I don't want to think
And
about
by
it.
the way, Dominica Saxon agrees with you. Pugh stole every scene she was in, and
She was
I've
really a
said
highlight.
multiple times on multiple shows that the biggest heist in the MCU was Florence Pugh stealing this movie from Scarlett Johansson. But I think in a way where she absolutely let her, you know. And you're talking about the comedic timing. Scarlett Johansson has been somewhat amusing in movies before, but Natasha Romanoff is not funny. She has a couple of dry jokes in every like second movie that she's in.
Yeah.
So they weren't going to be able to get a lot of funny out of her.
And that's not her character, and that's fine.
Yeah. I think turning it over to Yelena and of course Red Guardian, you know, to provide the laughs, I think was definitely a smart way to go.
Yes, and Red Guardian was great too, by the way. I really enjoyed him in that movie. But I feel like the Taskmaster character was handled very poorly. And I'm not even talking about like, oh, they made it a female. And I know some people are pissed about that.
Yeah.
I understand that it kind of worked in this story in the sense of like, oh, it was his daughter. Like,
by the way, some people are so pissed. You would think that when they took the mask off, it was supposed to be He-Man under there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I understand. But mostly I just think that they did a bad job with the character as a whole. They underutilized Taskmaster very heavily. And someone else mentioned this in my chat, and I have to agree. And I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was. Or no, I'm sorry. This was actually somebody I was talking to on OnlyFans. Actually, that's hilarious. I totally forgot. People messaged me about this on OnlyFans. I love
way
it.
to work into the plug. Nicely done.
Onlyfans.com/Zealand.
OnlyFans.com/Zealand.
Boom. Anyway, I was talking to him about it, and you know, I gave him my thoughts, and he's like, "Yeah, I totally agree. I think that if they took out Taskmaster, it would have been the same movie, like a completely unnecessary character. It was almost just like the side, like, oh, here's Taskmaster. We didn't get to see enough choreography. We didn't get to see enough fight sequences from them. It just, all in all, that was just a really disappointing way to bring Taskmaster into the MCU. And the ending was ridiculous, where she just comes out of it and she's like, is he gone? They're like, all right. It would have been way cooler if it turns out she wasn't fucking... Thank you.
Hey.
If it turns out looking out. If it turns out she wasn't mind controlled the entire time.
Yeah. Right. No, exactly. Yeah. And as they say in Glengarry Glen Ross, ABC, A always, BB, C closing. So I'm trying to just put it out there. I think that of the number that I see in the live chat, I think about half of them are people who will certainly at least visit your OnlyFans and at least subscribe for a month or two. You know,
check it out.
And where are we at on the feet pictures on the OnlyFans? Are we putting those up if they're requested?
I request if people can pay for private pictures, like ones just for them. So like I'll send just to them. So right. I have done some feet stuff, not a ton, but for the most part, I just keep my socks off in every photo. So there's usually
how much would I have to pay for a picture of your husband Nick throwing you down the stairs?
I want to say a couple grand for that one.
Oh.
I'll be pretty beat up after that. I did have someone offer me $2,000 for like my butt hole, basically.
You know what you should have done? You should have just super zoomed in on Nick's butthole and been like, there you go.
Butthole for you.
Yeah, which I'm sure that's why people are here for the butthole talk. But our friend Cammie Egan felt the same about Black Widow, Zia. It was a good MCU film. Filler before the other films come out. Yeah, it's sort of like
it was a nice
in some ways Captain Marvel acted as a filler. It was also like, hey, you need to meet this character before we have her be super important. But it was like to go back in the timeline to like, previously on the MCU, and it's like, oh, I don't even remember this. So there's a lot of stuff that I liked about it, but I can understand the criticism of it, but to me, it was fun, and it was also the first movie that I saw in a movie theater again. So that was a little bit extra exciting.
Special,
special. And but and I've said this also many times, but it felt like I was kept thinking, I'm like, oh, this is like a James Bond movie. And then when they pulled the masks off, I'm like, oh no, it's a Mission Impossible movie, because they all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, it's Tom Cruise. I had no idea that it was him. So yeah, I thought that look, it was fun. And a lot of it was, oh yeah, this is kind of exactly what I expected from it. I didn't expect more than this. You remember going back like 2 full years when we first got some trailers for it. I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be fun. But
Yeah.
foolishly, I was more excited for New Mutants than I
Oh
was.
God, Christian, I know we talked about that a lot, and I'm so upset with myself now for being like, I'm so excited about this movie. And it was one of those ones where I heard so many bad things about it before I watched it that
Yeah.
I put off watching it. I put off watching it for a really long time. I waited until it came out, wherever the fuck it came out. I still have that $6 gift card.
I know. I sent you $6 in Amazon credit so that you could buy it, just rent it.
Yeah.
And then it ended up on HBO Max for free.
And I watched it there.
You know what you can do with that $6? There's one thing you could do with it, but another thing you could do with it is you could put it towards a Doug Bell cameo for my birthday in February. So
I like this idea a lot.
Yeah.
There we go. I can start saving for it now.
Except, of course, I feel like you could probably get a Doug Bell cameo for free. So
I could ask to do
you'll
that.
You'll still have the $6.
That'll just forever have this $6 in credit. I don't even know where it's at in my email anymore. I'll use it for another movie we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Or can I send it back to you? Can you use it?
I mean, I could probably rent something. Yeah, that's what you when you see something that I need to rent, then you just send it back to me.
There we go. That sounds good. We'll just send it back and forth.
Now, definitely off topic, but are you more excited for Morbius than you were for this movie? That movie has gotten moved around the schedule a few times now.
Dude, I'm really excited for Morbius, and I don't want this to be another. I don't want this to be another repeat of fucking New Mutants. Oh God!
But be ready for it to be.
It could easily be. I know it could easily be. I'm hoping for better because Jared Leto really is a good actor. Joker aside, I don't think that was his fault. He's a fantastic actor, so we'll at least get some good acting in there. I'm hoping that we'll get a little Spider-Man nods here and there. I'm excited. I like that they're doing some random different shit. I'm here to check it out. It's one of those things where I'll go into it and be like, I can't wait to see what this is. But I don't want to go in with too high or too much expectation, really. I think that's where you get let down.
In terms of seeing Black Widow, did you go to the movies or did you do Disney Plus Premier Access?
I did go to the movies. I did. Yeah. We still pay for the AMC stubs or whatever. It's like $25 a month.
The A-list,
3 movies. 3 movies a week. It's so much we could have spent $30 to get one movie instead of, you know what I mean? So
no, I think that's the way to go for sure. Yeah. And I think that there's some of the movie would work fine on TV, but especially when like the Red Room is like falling down to the ground and, as improbable as those sequences are from a logic standpoint,
the avalanche.
It still looks really, the avalanche, it all looks really cool. So I'm like, oh, this is the reason why I'm at the movies is to see all of this.
There was some rough CGI in that avalanche scene with Black Widow swinging around from the helicopter. There was moments where I was like, woof.
I know. They had like an extra year and a half to do all the CGI,
I know,
and it's that's it. You're just like, yeah, it's good enough.
This is fine. People have been waiting for a long time. They won't fucking care.
So overall, you didn't think it was bad. You had more fun than you did watching Captain Marvel, but I think that has a lot to do with the character development. I mean, we care about Natasha.
Exactly.
And this is theoretically, at least, this is the last time we're going to see her because we've already said goodbye to her. Mm-hmm. And then this is one more thing.
Yeah.
But do you feel like this was a good send off that they did give her own solo adventure, or should they have just let her fall to her death in Vormir and we could have just never said hello again?
I'm torn on that. I think either way it would have been fine. This is fine. If they hadn't given us this movie, I think it also would have been fine. It's one of those things where it's like you're right. We said goodbye. It was really sad. I did cry when she died. When her and Iron Man died, there was tears. So it's one of those things that, it's kind of cool that we got this, but it is a little bit weird watching it, knowing that this character's dead.
Yeah. Well, that leads us into the post-credits scene. So there's the idea that we're going to get plenty more Florence Pugh, and
Yes.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus is recruiting her for some organization that there are many theories for, and having her square off against Hawkeye, who, in this movie, her sister did mention a few times. So I think that the trying to kill him part of it probably won't last for too long. But what do you think about sort of the prospect that, the post-credit scene acts to let us know, like, well, we're not going to have the Natasha Romanoff Black Widow anymore, but we'll still have a Widow, and this one's funnier. So what about that?
It's hard because you did spend, this is not an easy role to fill. We have spent 10 plus years with Scarlett Johansson. Has it been
Yeah.
10 plus? How many years has she been in the MCU? Anyway, it's been a long time that we've
Yeah,
spent with Scarlett Johansson.
it's like 15, I think.
Has it been 15? Holy shit.
Yeah.
And she's a great Black Widow. She really is. She was the perfect choice for this. She's been great in the role the entire time. So that is hard. And as much as I like Florence Pugh, it's going to be a little bit weird getting used to. But that being said, she's not becoming Natasha Romanoff. She's Yelena Belova. So she's a slightly different character. I think it'll be cool to see more of her in the MCU. I hope that she continues for a while. I like the idea. I have a feeling this is going to lead into the Hawkeye show, right?
That's what the conventional wisdom is. It seems to be that that's the next time we'll see Clint Barton, and who knows, it could be the last time we see him if Kate Bishop takes over as Hawkeye, and he retires on to that ranch where his weird kids put mayonnaise on hot dogs. So
God,
yeah, right.
I will never forget that.
Yeah, that's kind of why Thanos made sure to get rid of them, because it's like, that's disgusting.
I mean, if you could pick and choose based on like when the snap happens, just pick. It wasn't random. Just pick and choose based on like bad eating habits. You eat weird shit. No, you're gone.
Wanted to bring in this comment from Kame Egan. David Harbour stole the show as Red Guardian. I'd like a series about him. Would you like to see some form of, Red Guardian sequel, prequel, some form of adventure?
I would like to see. I don't think that he'd be like a great main character, but I'm with Cammy. I'd like to see more of him. I think it'd be cool for him to pop up here and there, or like be a part of something. It'd be kind of fun to see him. Well, can't really do this now up against Captain America at some point, but that's hard to do. I mean, not with. I was thinking original.
He could go up against Sam. And then one of the theories that we had on a previous episode was he could go against the I've forgotten the character name now, but from Falcon and Winter Soldier, the guy who had been Captain America like in the 50s, and then he ended up in jail. So you could get kind of a flashback story to them at some point.
That could be really fun.
Yeah, so there's some chances to see him, and I think I'm sure that what's going to happen is that the character will show up again in the comics, and he's going to be like much wackier and like this. A lot of times movies can help retcon characters by just be like, well, that's what everybody's going to expect to see from him, so let's just do more of that. I think that here was an interesting comment from BlackRock 316. The action was edited very odd, and was disappointed in it. Dominica Saxon, Taskmaster getting up to keep fighting, saying she enjoys killing. Did Ross let Black Widow walk away at the end of the film? No, I think that it's like, look, obviously she was able to break out and sneak away from wherever he put her. And it's so rudimentary and was so easy for her. We're not even going to show it to you. Did you get that impression?
That's
Zia?
what I thought too.
Yeah, it's a valid question because it's not something that they showed us. But right. I don't see why. I don't see why he would let her, go away. I mean, just walk out. By the way, Cam Egan says, I have yet to see New Mutants based on the two of you and everyone in the chat's review. If you have HBO Max, watch it for free.
You can watch it for free. It's worth the hour and a half of your time.
Yeah, it's only an hour and a half. You could watch it twice while Zack Snyder's Justice League is playing in the other room, and it would still have an hour left. So,
true.
Come on.
Yeah. But it is rough. The first half was kind of fun. I enjoyed the first half a little bit, and then we got in the second half, and I was like, oh boy.
Yeah. Sam Whitfield with a point. Jared Leto was great in Blade Runner 2049.
He's a good actor.
He's typically very good.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Snyder cut, the toned down Joker that we got was like, yeah,
So much better.
we can handle that. That's a little bit more palatable,
If we had gotten that Joker in Suicide Squad, it would have been, I wouldn't say a completely different movie because that's not all that was wrong
Yeah.
with it, but it would have been better.
Yeah, and since we're talking about Jared Leto, Cam Egan again, for the love of God, I hope Jared Leto doesn't cock up Morbius, especially since he looks incredible as a character. He does look really cool in that trailer.
Awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
I want that movie to be good so bad.
Yeah.
Because it's such a random pull too from the comics. I know it's, it's a Spider-Man villain, obviously, but I feel like it's not one that's super widely known except for like avid comic book readers.
Yeah, or if you watched the 90s animated Spider-Man series, that's probably where a lot of people know him.
Yeah.
But I'm honestly legitimately excited for Venom 2. There will be Carnage because I think you and I were the only ones that, at least of any of the shows that we did, we're the only ones who liked Venom at all. Yep. I didn't love everything about it, but
no, it wasn't a perfect movie, but it was another one that was fun. It was fun, and the acting was good, and the relationship they developed between Venom and Eddie Brock was great. They did, I feel like that, and then I'm excited to see more of that in the second movie. I mean, yeah, it would be awesome if we could get him in Spider-Man, but
yeah,
that's not what we're doing right now.
No, it'll be great. And by the way, Daniel Drew, it reminded me Isaiah Bradley was the Captain America from Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's his name. I was going to say David Bradley, and I knew that was wrong. So I just said, I forget his name, basically. So, by the way, Rock wants to chime in that he also liked Venom. So,
it was a fun movie. We're not alone.
We just felt alone that week.
Yeah.
When it came out. And we're like, whoa, what was wrong with it? Well, the other big MCU reaction that I'm sure people are excited to hear from you is Loki. We've done a lot of episodes. We would do weekly recaps on this show every Wednesday. We moved the show to Wednesday to be recaps for all of once the Disney Plus MCU series moved to Wednesday. So I guess we did it for Loki. Not to be confused with For Loco. Thank you. All right. I didn't even have that. Oh, I'm so proud of myself.
It's too bad this isn't Twitch. Someone has to clip that.
Somebody could do it. Come on, Rock. You could do it. You could figure out how to do it. Just go over to YouTube and grab it. But what were your thoughts just sort of overall on Loki? And let's start with Sophie DiMartino as the Loki variant, Lady Loki, maybe the Enchantress, but whatever she was, the only person that Loki would ever be able to fall in love with is, of course, himself.
Yes. Yeah. I did think that was just so funny how he falls in love with him. I really liked Loki. I really did. I think it was my favorite so far of the Disney Plus shows. I think they did such a great job. It was so different. It was so weird. We really dive into the Loki character a lot because it's interesting, right? So we saw Loki progress over time throughout all of these movies. And, he starts off as as a villain, really. And then by the time we get to where he gets killed by Thanos, he's not really a villain anymore. He's kind of an anti-hero, I guess. And so you see that sort of development. And then suddenly we're hopping back all those years to where we still have mischievous villain Loki. But then they sort of it was 6 episodes, right?
It was, yes.
Yeah. I was going to say, oh my God, my brain is completely forgetting this word. Anyway, over those 6 episodes, we sort of got that character development back, which is showing that no matter what, Loki kind of develops into this more anti-hero type of character. That's still Loki, still mischievous, but he's turned into like oddly this good guy that you can't help but really like. So I think they did a really good job with that. I really like the Sylvie character too. I thought that was a really cool idea to have another variant of himself that he falls in love with. And just overall, I guess we didn't really get Kang at the end there, but we got kind of Kang, if that makes sense.
A Kang variant. And that I don't know. That's the sort of stuff that I think in general doesn't bother people like your diehard comic book fans. The idea that He Who Remains would just be a variant of Kang is logically it works. So everybody's like, all right, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I haven't seen the backlash against that because it's hardly a beloved character. I mean, I think it just worked really well. And I'm excited to see him as Kang. I feel like, we know he's going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantumania, but I suspect we're going to see him before that. But
I think so too. I think he's going to be another one of those, maybe not Thanos level big bad, but I think that there's going to work up to some stuff with him, which I always like. I appreciate when they do that.
No, but I mean, the potential is there for him to be a Thanos level big bad because of the influence he has on the timeline as a whole, you know?
That is true. That is a good point. And I enjoyed that actor too. I thought he was really good in the role. Very out there, very strange, which I liked. So yeah, I like that a lot. Also, shout out to Owen Wilson.
Right. I was literally about to ask you. You know, the only disappointing thing about there being a second season is that I fully expected that the series was going to end. He finally gets to ride off on his jet ski, and I think that's still what we're going to get.
Be better.
It'll be down the road. You know. Some people in the chat were not surprised. They knew there was going to be a second season, but I honestly had no idea.
Neither did I.
It was one of those things where I'm like, how in the hell are they going to wrap this up in the next 10 minutes? And then you're like, oh, they're not.
They don't.
Great.
Yeah. And then he gets, oh God, that part too, where he gets back to the TVA and even Owen Wilson, I'm forgetting his name. Why am I forgetting his name in the show?
Oh, it's Mobius, which I had to be really careful to not call Mobius as a reason. Yeah.
That's right. Okay. So, and he gets back to Mobius, and Mobius has no idea who he is, and it's a whole different thing. And there's a big statue of Kang. I'm so excited for season 2.
We all want to know. Yeah, I think it was great. And you know, the episode where Loki and Sylvie first kind of team up and they run around together. I thought of you because I said on multiple shows that episode of Loki was the best episode of Doctor Who in the last 5 years. Like you could take that script, you could have either one of them be the Doctor and either one is the companion. Like everything about that was like, it's such a Doctor Who story. And I'm like, this is great.
I didn't even think about that. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and by the way, if you're not watching the video version, you're really missing out on Xia wiping her nose.
Dude, my nose is running like crazy.
If that is the kind of stuff, hey, what's that? Your nose is running? You better go catch it. Wait. It's weird to do that with you now that you actually do a show with him.
All the time.
We just used to do that. Just for fun, we would do that on shows.
On shows. My
just
favorite
to annoy
is
our co-hosts.
Yep. And my favorite was, I still have that clip of the Westchester's the best Chester, and you get it. You like we have this moment, and Zach is just like, oh, I hated that so much.
But then you tweeted it at Sam Roberts, who said like that guy's got a problem because Sam Roberts knows more than anybody that the Westchester is the best Chester.
It's the best.
And honestly, there's an Eastchester in Pennsylvania. It is not better than Westchester. So don't tell me that Eastchester. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Eastchester is the fucking least Chester.
Eastchester, Leastchester. That is a mic drop moment, Christian.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't want to drop my mic because it would have been really loud. And honestly, knowing me, I would have broken it. And nobody really wants that.
Well, actually, I think they do.
By the way, Rock did not enjoy our Chip-like interaction. He just had a lot of no. I don't know how anybody can hate Chip. I mean,
I don't either, but here we are.
But here we are. But if you did enjoy seeing Xia blow her nose, perhaps you can ask for that at her onlyfans.com/Xia.
I should start saving those and selling them. Someone will buy them.
Yeah. Now, considering when you were on Chrissy Mayer's show, there was one of the other guests was talking about somebody on her OnlyFans that they would buy. Get ready for this, boys, in the chat. They would buy used tampons from them. And it's just like, if somebody wants to spend money for it. So, so sell the tissues, why not? What's the worst that could happen? Somebody could clone you. Oh, wait a minute. All right. No, don't sell the tissues. I just came up with the reason why you shouldn't do that.
You mean you don't want 1,000 Xias running around?
No, I don't think anybody does, but maybe I'm wrong. So, I think that, look, we've gotten some great, Marvel content after a long dry spell. And I know we talked about the other Disney Plus shows the last time we chatted. I think we did anyway. I'm fairly sure we've talked about all of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that I like all three series because they're all so different. You
Mhm.
know, like WandaVision is such a very specific thing. And honestly, I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier. That is the most typical for what I was expecting from a
Yes, that was
series.
very
It,
MCU.
it was a good story. I liked it. I liked that we end up with him as Cap at the end, but that's the one that I expected the most. I think that the crazy Loki series and the also crazy Wanda series,
Mhm.
they were both great and just so different. And honestly, like even people who loved Black Widow, you can't tell me that that's your favorite MCU content of
No.
2021. It's because it's like it just got buried in all this stuff. It's just like it came out the what like be like Loki had its second to last episode, and then Black Widow came out, and you're like, yeah, I'll go see it. But boy, am I way more excited about that.
Yeah.
We did 2 shows that week of Marvel Movie Talk because I'm like, everybody's gonna want to talk about the Loki finale, so we gotta do our Black Widow talk beforehand, and we've done really 4 episodes talking about Black Widow, and we'll probably put it to rest now, but people can always talk about it in the chat. So we've got a lot of other things coming up MCU wise. On the calendar, the next official MCU thing is Shang-Chi, which our friend Katie informed me. I guess it's Shang-Chi,
Is
and
it Shang-Chi?
it's apparently Shang-Chi,
Okay.
but I've never said it that way, and it's going to be hard for me to break the habit. I'm not saying it in a way of like, I ain't fucking calling him that. No, I'm just saying I'm going to say it wrong because I'm used to it. But I'm excited for that because, again, it's a completely different genre. It's like, yeah, you want to see a Marvel Kung Fu movie? Great. And it's Disney money behind it. So you know that the Kung Fu is going to be awesome.
I am so excited. This is what we should hopefully this is what we should have got with, and I know that we both liked Iron Fist, but I know that we can both critique the fact that the choreography was not great. Especially
Yeah.
following Daredevil, where the
No.
choreography was fucking
And
phenomenal.
and I also when that came up on It's Eric Nagel, which I guess it's available on iHeartRadio, but you can also watch it live on Twitch Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. And again, who's going to be on this week? This guy.
Hey,
I just stole Doug Bell's thing.
you did.
This guy. But Benifer. But and you did defend Iron Fist, and I was glad that you didn't just try to fit in with the cool kids and be like, yeah, Iron Fist sucked. But there's legitimate complaints critique about the fact that Finn Jones didn't have time to prepare, and he wasn't perfect, but again, there's that one episode of Luke Cage where it's the 2 of them together, and we're like, yeah, that's the series we should have gotten.
They should have just done that. They should have given us a little bit of build up from both of their characters, like a mini series on each of them, and then they meet up and boom, that's the series.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. So, so movie wise, that's the next thing we're going to get. I'm excited. I don't know that much about it. The rumor is we're going to get Mandarin, and there's a lot of comparisons to Mandarin and Taskmaster because, yeah, it was like, well, they burned like a pretty cool Marvel villain. And I think if we really get him, it'll make up a lot for that turn in Iron Man 3. But yes, people in the chat are pointing out to me that before we get Shang-Chi, we will get the What If series in just a couple of weeks on Disney Plus, and seeing the trailer for it, the animation looks really cool.
Yeah,
and we're gonna get the real voice talent, from the movies. So, are you more excited for an animated Marvel series like this because they've clearly put so much into it? I mean, look, it's much more exciting and appealing to me than like Star Wars: The Bad Batch,
Nick, I think Nick is watching The Bad Batch now, and so far it's been really good. And I'm not caught up on a lot of the. Wait, Bad Batch is out, right? Am I thinking of the right one?
Yeah, I think it's either just finished or it's about to. But
okay, that's what I thought. Anyway, point is, I am excited to watch it, and I think mostly and I think that they chose What If. This was a good avenue to go with What If in animation, because I feel like you can do a lot more with animation. You can get more out there. Things can get more crazy with. It's still a big budget, but I feel like not as big of a budget as like a live action CGI, like all the crazy shit you would need to do a lot of that stuff. Like, are they doing Zombie Cap? I feel like I don't know why I thought they were doing that, but I would.
No,
like
I think
that.
you might be right. I think the first one we're going to get is Peggy Carter as Captain Carter, I think they call her.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you can pick some of what we're going to get. We're going to get Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther for the last time, which I think. Well, it's nice that we're getting something. I mean, it's so sad that we won't have him anymore, but at least we get this.
And he'd recorded the audio for this before he died.
Wow. He did, yeah. So, and Cam Egan makes a point that there is a lot of the cast is there, and What If does look cool, but she's bummed that Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans don't provide the voices for the respective characters. I would say specifically Robert Downey Jr. The price tag would make that cost prohibitive. And Chris Evans is probably like, I said I was done playing Cap, so I'm going to just be done playing Cap.
And I get it. They've been playing those characters for a long time, but it does still suck.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, absolutely. And Daniel Drew says he's excited for a Marvel Studios mini animation studios coming at some point. And yeah, look, I mean, this is the first MCU animation. I mean, there's plenty of Marvel animation that we've had, some of it through the, like Sony or whatever, but there's been a lot of it, but getting more of it, I think, is great. This definitely opens up the avenue. And look, and that is also an attractive avenue where, maybe you wouldn't do a Red Guardian limited series, but maybe you do like an animated series or an animated movie. There's, I think that in some ways the Disney Plus series are well suited for characters that you weren't going to give their own movie to, like Wanda. Scarlet Witch wasn't going to get her own movie, and Loki wasn't going to star in a movie. He's always going to be paired up with Thor. And of course, neither Falcon nor Winter Soldier were going to get their own movie. So I think, and then the upcoming series, especially like, Ms. Marvel and Moon Knight and all of those.
I'm really excited for Moon Knight.
Yeah. I mean, especially with Oscar Isaac. Yeah. I mean, he got done wrong having to play Apocalypse in X-Men Apocalypse.
That was not his fault.
Not his fault.
His fault.
He just signed on the dotted line and took the checks. That's definitely not on him. But should have been awesome that he got to play Apocalypse. But it was not awesome. It was definitely not awesome. It was so bad. Yeah, so it's like we're in just a few week lull because What If premieres on, I believe, August 11th. So, it's really just a little bit of time where it's like, all right, let everybody catch up. And if they don't catch up, they could mustard.
That was such a Joker laugh.
And the only reason I really only made a bad joke for Rock because I know that he would hate it. So yes, you're welcome,
I'm sure that he
Rock.
Did.
Yeah, he definitely did. But in terms, in terms of the other stuff, we've mentioned Moon Knight and Shang-Chi is going to be cool. Of the things that are coming over the next couple years, is there one? Maybe we've already said it. Is there one you're like, oh man, when this one comes out, it's going to be awesome?
Shang-Chi, very excited about.
Yep.
I know, I guess this isn't, I already forgot the date on this, but I'm still really excited for Blade.
Oh yeah, you're the one.
Ali.
No, I know a lot of people. One. No, Mahershala Ali as look, we weren't going to get Wesley Snipes.
It wouldn't work, and I understand. But
I don't know when that might actually come out. I don't know if anybody
have a date for that.
Yeah, I think I think maybe 2022 release date. The creator of Blade said back in March, but I don't think anybody knows for sure. But they've got so many movies that are like already done, just waiting to come out. I mean, Shang-Chi was supposed to come out the day that Black Widow ultimately came out.
Mm-hmm.
And, we were supposed to already get Eternals, so,
Eternals, I'm not super excited for. I'm more going into it like, this will be interesting. We'll see. I'm going into it with a very we'll see attitude. I like the cast. The
cast is great. Their characters I'm not particularly familiar with, but I I have had my doubts about the MCU early on. I wasn't sure how Captain America was going to work. I was really convinced that Thor wasn't going to work. So, and in one of the three times I was right. But again, that's where you disagree about the Dark World. Did
I
you
still
ever
need
do
to
a
watch.
rewatch of that, by the way?
No, I
Yeah.
haven't, and I need to. I'm still trying to finish the Fear Street series.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
As
But
I read a bunch of the books.
when it comes to the Eternals, I'm just gonna have faith that they're gonna put something good on the screen, and
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be amazing and like, well, that was better than Endgame. As long as they get the right spirit and it feels like an MCU movie, I can't imagine having a problem with it. But yeah, I think that Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, I'm so excited for because of everything that has been set up, one in WandaVision, but also now in Loki. And I think that the Spider-Man movie this December, which, it's MCU adjacent, essentially, that's going to feed into it. So I think when we really start getting to those stories, it's going to be great. Like when you finally got it, just the first Infinity War, much less Endgame. So I think when we get the big high stakes stuff, that's what I'm going to be most excited for.
Multiverse of Madness.
The Multiverse of Madness. Yeah.
Multiverse of Madness.
I stand by my assertion, by the way. I still think Thor Love and Thunder is a dumb title, and I will not back down from that.
No, I'm with you on that. I hate that title so much. And that's one of those movies that I'm just kind of also met on. But I'm going into it with like open mind, but I'm not that excited for it. I don't know why. I'm like, sure, I guess. Unless they give us Frog Thor, and then all will be
you did see Frog Thor in Loki, right? There was a little
Yes.
He was on the ground, yeah.
Yes, I did see that.
And they apparently recorded Chris Hemsworth as his voice and they didn't use it. And I'm like, well, how do you not use it?
Not use that.
Yeah, right?
That's crazy. Yeah, no, if we get Frog Thor, I will be forgiven. No, it's just, I don't know. It's one of those weird movies.
No, I mean, look, Natalie Portman is a fantastic actress.
She's amazing. I love her.
Despite how she was directed by George Lucas, she's a phenomenal actress.
Also not her fault.
Also not her fault. But
I love
but I'm with you, and I'm like, when Jane Foster wasn't in Ragnarok, it wasn't like, oh boy, this movie needed some more Jane Foster.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too where it's like I don't mind Lady Thor at all.
Yeah,
it's whatever, but it's one of those things where when you start doing too much of that, it's kind of like the Flash show. When everybody started becoming a Flash, I was just like, or a speedster rather. I was just like, oh, this is so dumb. It's fun because there's one of them.
Yeah, right. No, exactly.
When you start getting like, oh, here's the Thor. And it worked in Loki because you weren't following those were all variants and the story wasn't focused on them.
Right. So, and, I would say that with, having Yelena be the new Black Widow, it's like, well, it would be weird if they had a male Black Widow. So obviously that is going to
super weird. Yeah. Don't
do
that.
Yeah.
No. See, and that's my point. Like if they was like, oh, here's this Black, and that's a little bit different too, though, because they're all widows that's part of the lore. They're all widows from the Red Room. Like there's a whole bunch of them. That's the whole thing. They've all been training, but there's only one Natasha Romanoff Black Widow.
Yeah. By the way, not everybody checked in the live chat. I wanted to get Opie and Anthony, Jim and Sam show legend, Chris the teacher, whose comment to you was, "Hey, bae." And
I didn't see that.
Those two words needed to actually be shared during the show. That it's more of a "Hey, bae." So
I think that's not at me for whatever reason.
Well, it was in a reply to the tweet with the link in it, so I'm sure you can find it.
I'm sure.
So when you're on Chris the teacher's radar, we're doing something right. Well, Xia, it is always delightful to get the chance to talk to you, even though I always pretend otherwise. But I do appreciate the fact that it's less often than it used to be. That's probably why it's fun,
Yeah. I mean, we did see each other way too much before. I mean, we did all those shows together, and sometimes we hung out just because. I don't know.
We would like go to lunch.
Yeah, we did stuff together.
And but I was in our 7-Eleven the other day, and it just didn't feel right.
It's not the same, huh?
I felt like I was two-timing you.
I haven't been into a 7-Eleven since.
Well, it's because you have Wawas where you
That's
live.
true.
So why would you go to 7-Eleven?
I passed by a 7-Eleven and I was like, why the fuck would I ever go back there?
Yeah. You pass by a 7-Eleven and you throw a brick through the window and be like, yeah, that's what you're good for.
Trash.
Clean that up.
Have you ever
trash
seen
bag.
any of the cherry Slurpee cookies again?
No, that cherry Slurpee cookie at 7-Eleven was like a one-time find.
Dude, if you ever see those again, I will give you money to send them to me.
All right, that's fair. One more question on topic. Cami Egan, when do you think we're going to get a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer? I think soon, but they don't want to get in the way of a few things. One, Shang-Chi, but also Sony has Venom, There Will Be Carnage. And I think they want a lot of the focus to be on that. Now, what they should do is go ahead and tack on a No Way Home trailer on the end of, instead of like an end credit scene. Why don't they do that? So I think that we will get it at some point, but I guess we'll have to see, but yeah. So Xia, there are so many places for people to keep in touch with you. So take your time and go through all of them that,
thank you.
The most important one is onlyfans.com/Xialand.
Thank you, Christian.
We had you on the Blackcast. We talked a little bit about that.
We did.
And, our Blackcast co-host, Jeff Duray, happy birthday today to him.
Oh, happy birthday, Jeff.
He has not celebrated by recreating any of your photos, though.
Hey, I don't know how we haven't done that yet.
That's a little bit of a bummer. Well, now he lives in Massachusetts and you live in New Jersey, and the band is breaking up.
I
but
know.
Other places people can find you include what?
All right. So if you're not following me on Twitter and Instagram and you would like to do that, it's at Xia_land, spelled XIA_land. Also, twitch.tv/Xialand, where you can talk directly to me. You can in the chat and I can talk back to you. I do a lot of fun stuff there. Eating, gaming, watching videos. It's a good time. Also the Chip Chipperson podcast. I am I guess semi-regular, I don't know. Anyway.
Not a real person.
Since
Jeff's not here in honor of his birthday. Not a real person.
We did need that. Yeah. And in a way, he's not a real person, but he is.
What?
Very strange.
I'm going to send this clip to him and he's going to want to know, Bae, why'd you say that about me?
Why would you
I thought we had
that?
something special. Well, that means that do you think he's yesterday's tomatoes? Is that what you're trying to say?
He's not yesterday's tomatoes. That's not what I'm saying. He's very much tomorrow's grapes.
Because they're small, so you're probably right about that.
Yeah. So Chip Chipperson podcast, that's up on YouTube. He also has a Patreon if anybody becomes a big fan and wants to check that out. I think it's just like $5 a month.
And it's Chip's Patreon where you do like hangouts with Chip and some fans. And you guys have watched episodes of Doctor Who, right?
Yes, we have. And those are really fun. And he does put those hangs up afterwards too. So even if you miss them, you can still watch them. And the fun thing with that is you either get Jim or you get Chip. And either way, it's a really good time. We haven't done one in a while though, because Jim's been going back to doing stand-up. And doing spots and stuff out. So I understand it doesn't have as much time. And
I think it's episode 4 of the Doug Bell cast. I would tell people to seek that out. The Doug Bell cast is very enjoyable, but I don't know. Is that the only one you've done?
That's the only one that I've done. And
the late night phone call from Doug Bell to Xia is, and I know that Doug Bell is a very divisive character, more so than Chip Chipperson,
very much.
But that it's one of my favorite things I've ever seen you do. Oh, and you were on Kelly and Calta this week, right?
Yeah, I was on Kelta and Kelly with Bobby Kelly, Mike Calta, and Bert Kreischer, which was really cool. And
who Dougie Bell calls Kreisch.
Kreisch, of course he calls him Kreisch, and I'm sure that Chip calls him like Bert or like Berg Kreischman or something like that.
Yeah, it probably does call him Berg Kreischman. Oh, and look, by the way, Rock says now that was good. So he liked the Doug Bell cast with you.
No, not the Doug Bell cast. He hates Doug Bell. The Cult and Kelly show. I know what he's talking about. Yeah, he liked that a lot. He enjoyed that, and I had a really good time on that show. I have to say. Bert Kreischer followed me on Instagram and subscribed to my OnlyFans, and that was one of the coolest moments I've ever had in my whole entire life. I was like,
"That's so great.
Happening?"
Yeah,
so cool.
and we have reports that whether he has subscribed directly or not, but Anthony Cumia of Opie and Anthony fame has also either has subscribed or I have people who send me things, is what he said.
Oh, yeah,
So
which you
whichever,
motherfuckers. I will find out which ones. Actually, I don't know how I'm gonna find
whoever,
out which ones
who's
you are, but
screenshotting the stuff that you're supposed to pay for.
yeah, and you're
But
not supposed to do that, by the way. That's like against terms of service. I've gotten a lawyer to get a couple things like taken.
ooh,
Oh yeah, like I will come after
good
you.
for
Go
you.
fuck yourself. Yeah,
But what if,
like not cool.
But if they then convince Ant to spend the money and subscribe himself, then I guess maybe you can let that one slide.
I will
But
let that one slide, but don't think I won't come after you.
hey, Sam Whitfield has a great question. When is Xia going to be on Joe Rogan?
I'm working on it, Sam. I don't know why I said that like that. That'd be so fucking cool.
Yeah,
That's my
and
goal.
yeah, he back to Rock. He definitely suggests nobody seeks out
See, I
Doug
told
Bell
you.
casting before.
I told you.
I don't know about you, Rock, but I always appreciate you being here in the chat, and we appreciate everybody who was here for the live chat. Xia, let's not wait too long to do this again. We've got so much. Maybe we can circle a date for Venom 2, because
Yeah.
especially if everybody hates it except us, then we're gonna need to do like a Venom 2 support group.
Yes,
Where it's
and
like,
it's
if
gonna
you
just
love
be the two
Venom
of us.
2, if you love Venom 2, come to us.
Yeah, it's gonna be the two of us and no one else watching.
And as mentioned a couple of times during the show, you should be able to find Xia and myself this Thursday, tomorrow, July 29th, on It's Eric Nagel, which is on iHeartRadio, and they also do it live on Twitch now. Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Twitch.tv/It's Eric Nagel.
Correct.
ITSERIKNAGEL.
Yes, exactly. So thank you to Xia, and thank you
for
to everyone. And we will see you next time. As the great Stan Lee would say, Excelsior!